We stand at the dawn of a new era of open source rapid human development. Because of open source software and the beginnings of an open source hardware industry, it is now technologically possible to provide for all human needs, cheaply, efficiently, and without significant recurring human labor. Many politicians are discussing UBI around the world. Many other politicians are actively suing corporations for forcibly altering elections. Both of these horrific and troubling concepts are obsolete. We now have a still burgeoning but rapidly developing open source 3D printing market. We are only a few generations of printers away from being able to print doorknobs or light switches or tablets running open source forks of Android. Hopefully utilizing self-owned, self-hosted, distributed supercomputing, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Let me explain the power of open source. The more people use it, the more people make improvements to it, the better it gets, and corporate solutions simply cannot compete. Even with inflated billion-dollar valuations based on the stock market, which, let's face it, is basically like a giant, very lousy casino for wealthy people. And we're on the brink of radically eclipsing that antiquated modality as well, with cryptocurrency advances outstripping in some areas other technological advances. We are on the verge of entering a new paradigm in finance that is not governed by any government and not under the control or sabotage of any corporation either. And Bitcoin is evolving and adapting a lot faster than fiat. I doubt Bitcoin will always be the predominant cryptocurrency. I see no reason for it to be, and in fact many reasons for it to inevitably be usurped by a more modern system with all the benefits of the latest technological advance. We're about to have a truly free market. We're about to have truly free software. We have the basic building blocks for self-hosted, self-owned, and controlled cloud storage supercomputing. We will soon no longer need Google Photos or Apple iCloud or any other competitor. We'll have our own apps that do that for us on our own distributed supercomputers, turnkey, automated, fun, and easy to use. As we build ever more capable 3D printers, capable of printing ever more complex and valuable devices, we will have the physical power to grow, build, and care for every aspect of our immediate and perhaps even immediately extended surroundings. And we already have the models to follow. Blueprints that we can take in an open source way and radically adapt and improve upon them real-time, collaboratively, globally, with over 7 billion engineers. Welcome to TechnoAmish.Life. We believe it is our inalienable right as animals on this planet to endeavor to look after our own physical needs. Food, shelter, clothing, clean water, and whatever other basic provisions we see as necessary in today's society. We also believe it is our sovereign and resolute duty to endeavor to help those around us endeavor to be better able to better take care of themselves. Once you have printed and assembled a 3D printer for your neighbor, you will be able to continue to print more 3D printers for yourself, your family, or anyone else you care about in your immediate community. And maybe communities will become decentralized, voluntary, mobile collectives. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Once everyone alive owns a 3D printer, the production of any product will only require a finite amount of filament of basic materials. This will enable them to grow their own food by later printing a very different type of 3D printer, such as Farm.Bot. Once they have a Farm.Bot set up, they will be able to also grow industrial hemp for procuring their own 3D filaments. You will be able to 3D print machines to help you do all of that materials production as well. And it's all going to be open source and on a public blockchain with incredibly detailed documentation, configurability, and variation. And it's going to be true for your software much sooner than that. And it's going to be true for our economic system. It's already starting to happen in countries that experience hyperinflation. And it is an ever-growing and changing market, not just a series of copycat garage projects, although those certainly exist as well. Once all construction of building materials has been decentralized globally to individuals and families, it will be impossible for bad actors to continue to manipulate the market with scarcity either through unfair trade practices or outright theft and fraud, possibly the elimination of scarcity. If you can 3D print yourself a house, or the components, and assemble them either by yourself or with some help from neighbors, this sounds an awful lot like a society that already exists, the Amish. And if you examine the statistics surrounding the Amish community, they have statistically been able to avoid many of modern society's most egregious maladies. We can take the Amish lifestyle and model and make it a distributed open source collaborative blockchain project with very real implications for the immediate health and happiness of a much higher percentage of our population. But our new branch of the Amish faith will not have a key failing of the original model. Our religion will embrace robotics and 3D printing and many other beneficial technologies, most of all, open source design, engineering, and software. There are several verses in the Bible that would back up this concept and plan. In fact, this way of spiritually and economically monetizing neighborly good citizenry could be the catalyst for a new and very real and realistically achievable utopia. Imagine your birthright for being born on the planet is an acre of arable land and a clean water source. Then imagine that in the event that one or both of your parents could not provide you with your 3D printers, computing hardware and software, and cloud storage solution that our modern life requires, imagine there are literally hundreds of individuals, families, and other collectives battling each other for the privilege of providing you, maybe a poor orphan in this scenario, those startup tools. Then imagine we really work on finding ways to lower the cost of electricity, dramatically, globally. What would you be printing on your robotically managed Infinifarm? Cell phones, cars, airships, new and improved designs of the 3D printed farming robots? Is all of the above one unified device? An acre is a lot of land. You could be doing all of the above and successfully breeding horses or heirloom chickens, robotically, without smells or flies. And instead of going to town in our horse and buggy, we're riding to town in our automated horseless carriage, or whatever design we choose. We have the technology for almost free, almost limitless, efficient, and safe, sustainable electricity production. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, I highly suggest watching the entire Thorium 2017 video on YouTube. And I highly suggest that you do want to go down that rabbit hole, not just for your children and their children, but for yourself and your significant other in the case that they outlive you. Imagine what we will do with unlimited open source design, decentralized manufacturing, robotics, and advanced AI, and a decentralized economy. Forget about Trump and Bernie. Let's make a new system that makes the old system completely obsolete. It doesn't have to be a corporate fascist versus a socialist fascist. We can eliminate the fascism altogether with true freedom. Free food, free housing, free clothing, free internet, and nearly free, or eventually in practical terms, free electricity. You own a 1 acre food forest that automatically grows and maintains all your favorite foods in dozens or even hundreds of varieties. You have a salad, but each leaf of lettuce is from a different species of lettuce. Each tomato or piece of tomato is from a different species of tomato. Each avocado slice is from a different species of avocado. And that's also true for your robotically produced heirloom varietal brie cheese, should you endeavor to make it or trade a neighbor for something you produce in abundance. And the same with your favorite wine and weed. Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing grass, which is on the earth, to produce seed, and every tree, which has in itself the fruit of the seed that it has produced. It will be food for you. Genesis 1:29. Amish believe in a strong nuclear family, and the ability to live off the land. There are numerous socioeconomic benefits to those choices. Routinely, the surveys of their happiness and satisfaction with life put them above polyamorous city dwellers. Let's study that. Let's find out why. Let's engender that joy of life in as many people as we can. And if they want to go back to downtown Manhattan, fine. But let's give new generations an option for organic, healthy country living based on open source technology and a truly free economy. Other Amish precepts that seem to aid in their community's mental and physical health, following the Epicureal maxim of first do no harm, or primum non nocere. This means Amish do not give their children transgender surgery or drugs or hormone treatments. They don't vaccinate. They don't do anything medical unless they know there's a life-endangering issue that requires immediate professional attention. And we will soon be able to replace traditional doctors and nurses with robots. Robots that monitor your pulse, blood sugar, respiration, urine, stool, weight, and body fat. and can tell you what to eat and what exercise to do to manage your present issues. Each one of them iteratively improving with daily software updates from engineers all over the world, secured and private over an anonymous distributed global blockchain. Automatically using a portion of your productive acre to manufacture or grow the most valuable commodity on the automated open market that is efficient and appropriate to your area, season, and resources. Then imagine instead of stripping the land of natural resources, we are actively and monetarily incentivized to replenish those natural resources. We not only stop stripping Eastern California of its water, but actively start pumping fresh water to the deserts, creating new lakes, rivers, streams, and other oases for the indigenous life to flourish more than it already does. Instead of rewarding centralist corporate fascists like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, and Dick Cheney, we should be incentivizing an entire generation of young people to learn how to code, build, and contribute their labors back to the whole world in a way that pays them a healthy living via the blockchain. All of this is inevitable on a long enough timeline, and provided the maniacal power structures we've built in the past don't continue to succeed to annihilate us all first. So let's jumpstart that. Now, join me and my TechnoAmish brothers in building a Techno-Utopia for all of our futures. First, we'll design open source solutions that provide all human wants with minimal human effort. Second, we'll incentivize good deeds, generosity, compassion, and technological innovation on the blockchain. Third, rapidly replace existing systems and expand, creating as much human liberty and variety as possible. Fourth, develop near-free thorium electricity and clean water sustainably and globally, and aqueducts.